All right. Hey guys. Happy Tag Tuesday. I'm here. Well, my name is Emily. Welcome to my channel. I promise I'll get better at these intros maybe. But yeah, my name is Emily. Welcome to my channel where we talk about books and books I'm reading and random reading topics. And I want to hear about the books you're reading and all of that wonderful stuff. But today is Tag Tuesday, so I'm going to do another tag and try to catch up on some of these that I've got lingering that I need to do. But today is the rapid fire tag. I was tagged by Catharine at the Literary Latte. She's got a really cute, sweet channel. I love her, so go check her out if you haven't already. But this is a tag that has just 25 quick questions that you are supposed to answer all of within 5 minutes. And I think I can do that relatively easily. I can be pretty succinct and concise when I want to be. So we'll see how this goes. But okay, let's just get going. All right, number 1, ebook or physical book? Well, I just got an ebook for the very first time for my birthday earlier this month. So I am new to the ebook world, and I'm loving it. I'm loving it. I had no idea that it could be so great, but I think at the end of the day, I probably still prefer a physical book. So we'll say physical book. Number 2, paperback or hardback? Paperback, just for the pure physical reading experience. I like a hardback if it's like maybe a big biography or like a nonfiction something, but for most of the fiction I read, I prefer a paperback. Number 3, online or in-store book shopping? In-store, for sure. The browsing experience is second to none. Number 4, trilogies or series? I love a good series. But I think I will probably say trilogies as my answer because, yeah, I think it limits you and it gets the story wrapped up well, and it prevents a lot of extraneous dragging on that isn't necessarily needed. If you can't do it in a trilogy, do another trilogy and tell a separate story in the same world or whatever. Yeah, I'll say trilogies. Number 5, heroes or villains? I love a good villain that is well drawn and well fleshed out with motivations and things like that, but heroes, for sure, always a hero. Number 6, a book you want everyone to read? Sorry about the pause. I was not prepared for that question. A book you want everyone to read? Anna Karenina. There's just so much. There's so much I could say about this. I think it has so much to say to everybody. It's a phenomenal work and more accessible than you think it is. So if you're scared of this, just try it anyway and see what you think. Number 7, recommend an underrated book. I don't know if this is technically underrated, but I'm going to say A Month in the Country by J.L. Carr. And I'm going to use it for this because I just don't hear people talk about it, but it's fantastic. I love this. It's about a man named Tom Birkin who it's immediately after World War I, and he goes to this church in the English countryside to restore a mural on the wall, and it's essentially just a story of his recovery, emotionally, spiritually, physically, mentally, after the war. And it's a beautiful book. So I wish more people talked about this. Number 8, the last book you finished. I think that was Guild by Raven Kennedy for Garb August. We'll talk more about it later. Number 9, The Last Book You Bought. That was Contempt of Court by Mark Curridon and Leroy Phillips Jr. The Turn of the Century Lynching That Launched 100 Years of Federalism. This is about a case that I actually had never heard of. And I'll just kind of read the flap here because otherwise I don't know much about the story, but I'm excited to read. When Ed Johnson, a black man, was wrongly convicted of rape in 1906 and sentenced to death in Tennessee, Supreme Court Justice John Marshall Harlan issued a stay of execution, declaring that Johnson's right to a fair trial had been violated and that he had been railroaded through the criminal justice system. The interference of the Supreme Court was not well received in Chattanooga. A violent mob answered this federal interference by dragging Johnson from his jail cell, beating him, and hanging him from a bridge. Local police did nothing to prevent the lynching, nor were any members of the mob arrested. For the first and only time in history, an enraged Supreme Court conducted a criminal trial to enforce its authority. It brought contempt of court charges against the sheriff, his deputies, and members of the lynch mob. And so essentially talks a lot about federalism versus states' rights. But it was interesting to me first because I'd never heard about it, and because the Supreme Court is not a trial court, except in issues of, like a trial between two states or maybe like one or two other very narrow situations. But the Supreme Court doesn't conduct trials. They hear things on appeal. So this was really, really interesting to me, and I'm kind of excited to hopefully get to this soon. Okay, and I'm like not moving as fast as I thought I would. Okay. Number 10, weirdest things you have used as a bookmark. I don't really use anything weird for bookmarks, just like random pieces of paper, really. And sorry, my computer's down here. I'm reading the list off, so that's why I keep looking. Number 11, used books, yes or no? Yes. 12, top 3 favorite genres. Let's say historical fiction, fantasy, and classics. 13, borrow or buy. Buy. 14, character or plot. Character? Character. Because honestly, if you don't have good characters, then I don't care about the plot anyway. 15, long or short books. I gravitate towards long books more than short books. I just like to really get to sink into it. If it's too short, I just feel like I can get a lot from short books, but sometimes I want more, Where am I? 16, long or short chapters. It kind of depends on the topic. I don't know, if the book is really engaging, then I don't mind if the chapters are long. But if it's like a slog, then I'm like, oh Lord, please let this chapter end. So I think that one really depends for me. Number 17, name the first 3 books you think of. The Lord of the Rings, Hannah Coulter by Wendell Berry, and Death Comes for the Archbishop by Willa Cather. Okay, those are 3. 18, books that make you laugh or cry. Okay. Fried Green Tomatoes at the Whistle Stop Cafe by Fanny Flagg. This book makes me belly laugh and weep in equal measure. So I'm using this book for both laugh and cry. Number 19, Our World or Fictional Worlds. For reading or just in reality? In reality, Our World, but if I'm reading, fictional or historical worlds, for sure. Where am I? 20, audiobooks, yes or no? I don't know, I'm kind of weird about audiobooks. If it's a memoir narrated, if it's a memoir, particularly if it's narrated by the author, I love an audiobook. If it's a reread of a book for me, then I don't mind listening to an audiobook. But generally I really just want the physical book. It stays with me more if I read a physical copy of something. So, but on my longer commutes, I like an audiobook. 21, do you ever judge a book by its cover? Sure. Yeah, I do. 22, book to movie or book to TV adaptations. Again, it depends on the book, because I think different books lend themselves to different mediums differently. Like, for example, the Lord of the Rings movies were done fabulously. Did a fantastic job. The Outlander TV series was done really well. And there are plenty of others out there, but a lot of like longer books and things like that, I think really work really well as a mini series, because you can make an episode longer than a TV episode, and you can get more in depth. But it's shorter than a movie. It's longer than a movie, so you can put more in there, but you're also more limited than a TV show that can go on for seasons and seasons when it doesn't need to. For example, like the BBC Pride and Prejudice miniseries, has my heart. Okay, 23, a movie or TV adaptation you preferred more than the book. I don't know that there is one that I've preferred more than the book, if I have also read the book. Let's say that. There are plenty of adaptations I have seen where I have not read the book that it was adapted from, so I can't really speak to those. But of the ones where I have read the book and seen the adaptation, I don't know that there are any adaptations that I like better. I mean, I like them in their own right, certainly, but I don't know that I like them more than I like the book. 24, series or standalones. I don't know. I feel like I'm gonna say series. I love a good series. I often don't want things to end. I like continuing to follow characters throughout more things. I like a story that goes on for a long time. That's probably why I enjoy fantasy a lot, because there's, Lord knows, 1,000,001 series in fantasy. But yeah, I'll say series. Okay, 25, tag others. We reached the end. I don't think I did this in 5 minutes. I went on longer than I thought I would. But okay, yes, I will tag a few people down below, and I hope you enjoyed this, and I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.